Good morning and welcome to SCSA's Tool Box Tuesday. My name is Justin Brooks, Safety Advisor for the SCSA, and I'll be presenting today's Toolbox talk on youth in construction. Before I start the presentation, I just want to take a moment to discuss a few items before we get going. This presentation is being recorded and will be available for later viewing on Facebook and our YouTube channel. So if you're not following our social media accounts, make sure that after this presentation, give this video a like and a share, and follow our pages to keep up to date on safety in Saskatchewan. So today I will be talking to you guys about youth in construction. So what I will do is I'll just share my screen as always. Okay, so youth in construction. Prior to working here at the SCSA, I had many different occupations in my youth. I worked in steel shops, delivered pizza, furniture delivery, oil field construction, cribbing, gray beam, building, farmhand work, and commercial construction is basically where I kind of ended up before I came to the association. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, so I tried just a little bit of everything. It's no secret that many of our youth will move through many different employers while they are trying to figure out what they want to do for a long-standing career. As an employer, your brand new, green, wet behind the ears workers are eager to get started and will look to their employers when it comes to those workplace rules and safety on the job. As an employer, you have a duty to ensure their health and safety. So today we're just going to talk a little bit about having youth workers on site. First, let's talk about requirements. The minimum age of employment in Saskatchewan is 16. Youth age 14 and 15 can work, but must complete the Young Workers Readiness Certificate course and obtain a certificate of completion before beginning the job. The certificate, along with written consent from a parent or guardian, must be provided to you and kept on file. Youth age 14 and 15 cannot work more than 16 hours per week when school is in session and after 10 p.m. on a day before school, before classes start on any school day. So like no working at 6 to 8 a.m., right? These rules do not apply during school breaks like Christmas or Easter break and summer vacation. During breaks and vacations, youth age 14 and 15 can work the same hours as anybody else. Now in Saskatchewan, Section 3.3, the Occupational Health and Safety Regulations 2020 states there are industries where youth cannot work. People under the age of 18 cannot work underground or in an open pit at a mine, as a radiation worker, in an asbestos process, in a silica process, or any activity that requires the use of an atmosphere supplying respirator. People under 16 years of age cannot work on a construction site, in a production process at a pulp mill, sawmill, or woodworking establishment, in a production process at a smelter, foundry, refinery, or metal processing or fabricating operation, in a confined space like a manhole, in a production process in a meat, fish or poultry processing plant, in a forestry industry or logging operation, on a drilling or servicing rig, as an operator of power mobile equipment, so like a forklift or something, like a crane or a hoist. If exposure to chemical or biological substance is likely to endanger the health and safety of a young worker, or in power line construction or maintenance. Everyone in the workplace is legally responsible for workplace safety. Your employees have 3 basic rights under the Saskatchewan Employment Act. And this obviously, but I'm going to say it anyways, goes for those 16 to 18 on those allowable construction sites. Is the right to know what hazards are present in the workplace, the right to participate in keeping the workplace healthy and safe, and the right to refuse work they believe is unusually dangerous to themselves and their co-workers. Your employees also have a responsibility in the workplace. The responsibility to work safely by using all machinery and equipment in the right way they are trained. The responsibility to report health and safety concerns, including unsafe activities and conditions, to their supervisors and ask questions if they're unsure how to do something. The responsibility to properly use or wear protective devices and to not remove a guard or device designed to protect them. And the responsibility to protect themselves and others from harm as much as possible, and to not harass others at work. As an employer, you have the most care and control in the workplace, and therefore the most responsibility for health and safety. You also have a unique opportunity to be a role model for young workers. Be a part of creating tomorrow's safe and healthy workforce by ensuring health and safety systems, policies and procedures and programs are current, knowing the hazards in your workplace and training supervisors and workers how to recognize and handle them. Ensure health and safety procedures are always followed. Ensuring equipment, materials, and protective devices required by law are provided and used properly. This includes guards on machinery and personal protective equipment. Ensuring all serious illness and injuries are reported and investigated immediately. Encouraging all workers, especially young ones, to alert their supervisors immediately if they see something that can endanger their own safety of others, or their own or others, even if they think it could be and they're not sure. Demonstrating commitment to health and safety with your own consistent, safe work practices and informing your staff that unsafe work practices are unacceptable. Providing adequate time to train young workers, so not just give them the 20-minute spiel and get them out there on the job site. Make sure you have that adequate time. Provide training for your supervisors, responding promptly to all health and safety questions and concerns, and knowing the minimum age requirements of Saskatchewan that we just went through. So legislation. The Saskatchewan Employment Act and Occupational Health and Safety Regulations 2020 outline your health and safety responsibilities as an employer. Some of those responsibilities are to ensure a reasonable and practicable extent the health, safety, and welfare of your workers at work. Establish an occupational health committee or designate a worker occupational health and safety representative when required. If you have any questions on when it's required, contact your safety advisor. Cooperate with anyone exercising a duty under the law. So that's like OH&S, right? Protect workers from harassment, comply with the law, provide a healthy and safe workplace, manage the safe use, handling, storage, and transport of articles and substances, provide the instruction, training, and supervision needed to protect the workers, and provide safe entrances and exits. The other thing you do is lead by example. Attend the training sessions being provided by your work to being provided to your workers. Use and wear safety equipment when it's required to be used by your employees. Participate in fire drills and any other emergency response training. Treat every young worker with the same care and respect that you would want given to your own child, right? That's really important. These are somebody's kids, right? Include health and safety in your company's strategic plan, especially when it comes to youth workers. Personally encourage young workers to report health and safety problems they may encounter. And tell your young workers everything that they need to know about workplace health and safety before they have to ask, right? We forget sometimes, especially when you've been in the industry for a long time. It's very easy to forget those valuable lessons you learned in the beginning. But do your best to make sure they know everything that they need to know about a task before starting. Attend new worker welcome get-togethers to celebrate their arrival, right? It's a good way to show leadership by celebrating the arrival of new workers. Make yourself available during new work orientation sessions. Introduce new workers to key people in the organization. So this includes people like the health and safety manager, the occupational health and safety committee, the worker occupational health and safety representative, if, again, you have them. Turn every interaction with a new worker into an opportunity to reinforce your company's health and safety values and priorities. This is something that our managers here at the SCSA do all the time. And I believe it's a very important part of the process, especially with new employees. Encourage new workers to come forward with ideas and suggestions. Make health and safety a part of all workplace communications. Pair up new workers with experienced, safety-conscious workers. That's important, not just experience, but safety-conscious. And encourage supervisors to periodically take young workers on health and safety inspections to spot hazards and unsafe practices. A really good way of preparing your young workers and even experienced workers for their time on the job site is our SCOT training. The Safety Construction Orientation Training, or SCOT program, is an interactive online training course composed of 13 modules, each focused on a different fundamental aspect of worksite safety. SCOT is a convenient, easy to use, and accessible as the program is available on the web. The program begins with an introductory module and describes the content, purpose, and importance and practical information necessary to help participants navigate through the training experience. This program now actually includes WHMIS 2015. So some of the stuff you're going to go through is workplace law, right? Like this program provides all the basics of construction safety and actually requires 100% mastery of all 13 modules. Can take anywhere from 3 to 5 hours to complete. So when we start with workplace law, it focuses on that vital health and safety legislation designed to protect the health and safety of Saskatchewan workers. Next up, you have those workplace hazards. That hazard recognition, it's a skill, and new workers especially need to focus on that skill. So this really introduces them to some of the common types of hazards found in construction sites. Then managing worksite conditions and equipment. I mean, let's face it, worksite can be a particularly dynamic environment, right? As it gets more and more complex, there's more and more hazards. So the slips and trips and falls. So this just gives some general tool safety guidelines, including rotary machines, air, electric, power actuated tools, things like that are discussed in this module. Then we have personal care and conduct. Working in the construction industry requires substantial physical health and stamina, right? So in this module, they talk about ways to take care of your body and prevent injuries. The impacts of drug and alcohol and your ability to work safely are all examined. WMIS 2015, this is the construction industry uses a lot of different chemicals and materials that can be harmful. So what this is you'll learn the purpose of the Workplace Hazardous Materials Information System, the responsibility of workers, suppliers, employers, labeling, and then once you're done, you are receiving that WMIS 2015 certificate. Power mobile equipment. Power mobile equipment, or PME, is used for many purposes in the construction industry. It's important to operate around this type of equipment safely to avoid injury. You'll be introduced to several different types of power mobile equipment, how to conduct pre-job walkarounds on the machine and how to work safely around it. Then we go into number 7, which is ladder and scaffold safety. So some of the most common tools that are used on a job site is ladders and scaffolds. So it kind of goes over correct setup and usage, and understanding scaffold tags and things like that are discussed. Fall protection, this is a huge and serious hazard within the commercial and industrial residential industry. You're just going to learn about the basic fall protection equipment used in construction, responsibilities for working at heights, but this will not train you in fall protection. You would actually need to take our full one-day fall protection course, which has a lot of new material in it now. Environmental safety. So obviously, protecting the environment, it's everyone's responsibility. So this is going to introduce workers to different types of pollutants found in the construction industry, and what to do in case of an accidental release of hazardous material, and some general transportation of dangerous goods information. Then we move into excavating and trenching, right? This can pose a serious risk to workers. So this is going to explain different hazards, soil types, properties, and important safety that should be all part of digging operations. Defensive driving. So again, this is, whether you're driving to work or driving for work or operating equipment, it's really important to understand that safe defensive driving technique. So this is going to go over some specific driving legislation, defensive driving techniques, and typical causes of motor vehicle accidents. Personal protective equipment, again, it's your last line of defense, the prevention of an injury, and it's become a very regular part of life on a construction site. This module is going to explain the role of PPE on the job, when to use it, and things like that are found in the construction industry, those types of PPE, and when that specialized PPE is necessary. And then we go over emergency response, which is the last one. Planning is the most important part when it comes to those when it comes to different types of emergencies. So we're going to go over key emergency response plan elements, how to access first aid on a work site, not specifically to your work site, but how it should be accessed, and some basic firefighting techniques are discussed as well. So if you want to register for our SCOT training, just check out our website. Of course, you can go to just www.scsaonline.ca. But if you wish, /courses/SCOT will take you right to the page. You can sign up, pay everything online here. So generally speaking, most youth today view construction as a dangerous career, and it's no secret it can be dangerous. When I was working commercial construction, I always made it a priority to ensure that new workers were orientated the ground that they would be working on, regardless of their age. As an employer or supervisor, a great deal of care is required when working with youth in construction. Times have changed, and no longer do we live in a society where the majority of kids grow up using tools and working manual labor from a young age, and that's okay. We need to take the time to show them what safe working actually means. After all, those first experiences in construction stick with us for a long time, and it's important to build excellent, safe working habits to ensure that everyone goes home at the end of the day injury-free, and also can continue in their respective trades for many years and pass down those same, working habits for years to come. We all play a part in building the next generation and constructing safety leadership. So let's do it right the first time. Work smart, work hard, and more importantly, work safe. That concludes our SCSA Toolbox Tuesday. I'd like to take a moment to thank all of you by watching and participating in these discussions. We're all working together, making Saskatchewan the safest construction environment in Canada. Make sure you tune in next week for Toolbox Tuesday at 10 a.m. and our Wednesday webinars, which are on the first Wednesday of every month at noon. Now, even though I've explained this before, keep in mind these times are subject to change, so it's important that you follow us to keep up to date on what we're up to and what we're going to be doing as far as webinars and Toolbox Talks go. Also, want to remind everyone that we have all our presentations available on our YouTube channel. These are a fantastic resource. Even though you're most likely out in the field and you're not working from home anymore, this is a great way to conduct those toolbox talks. Maybe save your vocal cords and you can brief everyone after the video is done, and it's as easy as just shooting it off to their cell phone. So remember, like and share these videos. Follow us on all social media platforms. Have a great day, everyone. Work safe.